In the sprawling mythology of the DC Comics universe, few characters embody the enigmatic fusion of magic, vengeance, and mystery quite like Bloodwynd. First introduced in Justice League America number 61 in April 1992, Bloodwynd emerged during a transitional period for the Justice League, as the team was redefining itself in the aftermath of galactic crises and internal reshuffling. His arrival was marked by intrigue, suspicion, and an eerie aura, and over the years, he has remained one of DC's more cryptic and underutilized supernatural heroes. Bloodwind's story begins not in the stars or in science, but in blood magic, an ancient form of mysticism tied to suffering and ancestral pain. The mantle of Bloodwynd originates with a slave who, in the early days of America, discovered a blood gem capable of channeling the torment and rage of his enslaved brethren. This gem not only granted immense mystical power, but also became a vessel of vengeance. Passed down through generations, it eventually fell into the hands of Charles Winston, a modern-day necromancer who was consumed by the gem's dark energies. To atone and reclaim its purpose, Bloodwynd was reborn through Martian Manhunter, John Johns, who was psychically and physically possessed by the gem. This arc was one of the most compelling aspects of the 1990s Justice League America storyline. For several issues, the Justice League and the readers believed that Bloodwynd was a new member. However, the truth was slowly revealed. The real Bloodwynd had been imprisoned in the gem itself, and it was Martian Manhunter under the influence of its power who walked among them. This twist introduced questions about identity, control, and the seductive nature of magic in the DC universe. Once freed, the real Bloodwynd joined the Justice League temporarily, offering his expertise in necromancy and combating dark forces that the team often struggled to handle with brute strength alone. What sets Bloodwynd apart from many DC characters is his moral ambiguity. Unlike the bright optimism of Superman or the justice-driven fury of Batman, Bloodwynd operates in the shadows. He is a necromancer, one who communes with the dead, channels suffering, and commands mystical energies tied to human anguish. His powers are inherently dualistic. They offer salvation or damnation, depending on the wielder's intent. Bloodwynd often walks the line between hero and anti-hero, not due to malice, but because his powers are derived from forces that defy simple categorization. Despite his compelling origin and mystical gravitas, Bloodwynd has often been underutilized. After the events of his initial storyline, he faded into the background, appearing sporadically in crossover events or magical subplots. He showed up briefly in Day of Judgment, where DC's magical community joined forces to stave off a demonic invasion. His presence in Infinite Crisis and Blackest Night was minor but consistent with his role as a powerful, if mysterious, force among magic users. Bloodwynd's potential has always remained just under the surface, a gem waiting to be polished. As the DC universe continues to embrace darker, more mythologically complex stories, especially through imprints like Black Label and media like Justice League Dark, there is fertile ground for a revival of this forgotten necromancer. In an age where stories explore trauma, ancestral legacy, and the cost of power, Bloodwynd's origin as a manifestation of generational suffering is more resonant than ever. He doesn't just fight evil, he is a living embodiment of the price of survival in the face of cruelty. There's hope that DC will someday give Bloodwynd the solo series or event arc he deserves, exploring his ancestry, the origin of the blood gem, and his role in balancing life and death. Until then, he remains a shadowy figure, respected by the mystical elite, feared by enemies of justice, and remembered by fans as one of DC's most underappreciated supernatural titans.